Okay. We are live, Andresa.
Yay!
Yay! What are we celebrating tonight?
Oh my gosh, 3 freaking years that we started the podcast
Very cool.
all this movement. Did you think that all of this was going
No. No. And well, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us for the next half hour.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you being part of our live, and hopefully you're with us. We have a couple great guests. We have some giveaways. We're gonna make this fun and always pack some value in for all of you.
Yeah.
But this week is really special for us. You know, it was 3 years ago when we launched our podcast, the Real Estate InvestHER Show, and Andresa and I came together. We were friends. You know, I sound like this story, like we were friends first, but we were friends first.
We did not get married. Some people think we are married.
No, but I love you dearly, but I am happily married.
We're not married, so we don't also live together. So when you see me by myself, Liz by herself, if you ask where we are, like we don't live together. Yeah.
But we, you know, and if you're joining us, welcome. Please put a little note in here in the comments. Where you're from. Thanks so much for being here. A little shout out. We'd love to shout out, have some women name, you know, your names and just say hello. But yeah, we're going to just give a little intro, a little welcome. We're going to bring on some amazing guests and then go from there. But yeah, this is special because, you know, so many times in life we don't celebrate enough. And I know I'm not always good at celebrating things. So women out there, you got to stop and celebrate.
Yeah, because we could be doing other things today, but we decided to celebrate this milestone.
And that's a big thing for us because we both are fairly ambitious and always looking forward, you know, but we really you always need to step back and go, you know, what have we done? And hey, Jean, hey, Rochelle, hey, Sonia, congrats. So Sonia's coming on here shortly. She's going to be one of our special guests here. Hey, Colleen, you said you delayed your dinner. So thank you so much for delaying your dinner. Hopefully you're not starving, but thank you so much. 78 degrees. You had to tell us that you were in the 78 degrees Scottsdale.
Colleen,
we're gonna visit your meetup out there and leave. And I know, Jean, you're also rubbing in from sunny Miami. We're all from the north. Jess and I are in the Northeast right now. We're in Pennsylvania, for those who don't know. But yeah, really quick, and then we're gonna bring on our first special guest here, and we'll do a little giveaway. You know, and Andresa and I came together, we were in a coffee shop and we both talked about how for like most of our adult life, we had this shared passion to support women. And, you know, it came from me on the social work side and Andresa came right in other ways. And we both just had this shared passion. And we also wanted to like give support, but we also wanted to get it. We're both growing. Mm-hmm. I've been investing for 15 years. Andresa's been doing it for many years as well. But you're always learning and growing. There's never a point where you're just like, I'm good. I know everything. I don't need to know anything. I
remember a conversation that we had that, you know, first of all, when we thought about like the podcast and the community, it was like a big deal for us. We had a lot on our plates. And for us to start a podcast, that was like a big deal, right? So then we thought, okay, worst case scenario, nobody's going to listen, but we're going to interview great women. Yeah. We are going to get connected with them, share their stories, and also learn from other women. So I think that's a good thing, right? to get started.
At the very minimum, right?
Yeah.
And then it really propelled so much from there. So our first prize, we're gonna send you this lovely mug, right? The Real Estate InvestHER Show mug. I love it. And we're gonna send this to you. So I need your name and you can send it to info@therealestateinvesther.com if you win. But the question is, what was our first guest? Who was our first guest on our podcast?
You guys have 10 minutes while we talk here.
You can do the research. It's really easy to probably figure it out if you're not a complete stalker, which I'm sure you're not. But you gotta put it in the comment section. Who was the first woman that we interviewed? So you have to put that in there. And the first person to do that, and make sure you have accepted StreamYard, because all you'll be is a Facebook user to us and we won't know who you are. So we'll keep an eye out for that.
One funny thing about our first episode, how many times did we record it, Liz?
Oh, we recorded a lot. It was like really, really bad. It was really bad. But I gotta tell you though, Andresa and I from the very beginning always worked really nicely off of each other. Andresa and I, you could see we have different styles. We have different ways of doing things. So I'm not saying we don't butt heads in other areas. We have, we love each other dearly, but we have. Yes. But from a podcasting perspective, we've always just been very like, oh, she's going to ask a question. It just always flowed really nicely. I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. Otherwise we'll be like, that would be good.
Yeah. And something we do on our podcast is we always put our fingers up if we want to beat each other to the punch. So,
all right. I think we got a winner.
Oh, Michelle. We know where to find you, Michelle. No. Well, Mindy, we'll still give it to you, even though you spelled Mindy's name wrong. But Mindy Jensen's amazing. She is the Money, Bigger Pockets Money podcast host with Scott Trench. Awesome. She does a lot over at Bigger Pockets, and she's wonderful. So she was our first guest. Very cool. But yeah, Michelle, you won the gift. So
and she's gonna be on our podcast again pretty soon, but I can't tell you about why.
Yes, she is. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I have to actually follow up on that. So thank you for reminding me. Okay, on to our first guest. Am I forgetting anything on Jessica before we bring our first special guest? Okay.
No.
All right.
Bring her in.
Very cool. So we have Lee. We're gonna bring her in here. Hey, Lee.
Hey. So happy 3 years.
Yes, thank you. We're so happy to have you. And something we put out, and it's like everything we do, we're really mindful to say, okay, what are you going to do with this information? And you don't do something on everything, right? It's a little overwhelming. And the last thing we want to do is overwhelm women. But it's really important to take action. I know for me, when I'm listening to something and I'm learning something, okay, Liz, you tell other people to take action. What are you going to do? And it's so important to both Andresa and I, and anything we try to teach or share, it's like, okay, what are you going to do with this? So we thought it'd be really cool to have Lee. She volunteered to be on our live here. So thank you. She loves our show, which thank you for that. And I'll send you your check later. But you said that you, in listening, I don't know what episode it was, but in listening, you really got a lot from our podcast. And then what have you done with it? And we just wanted to kind of bring you on. So please introduce yourself, where you're from, and what have you done with some of the things you've learned, if there was a specific podcast episode or just in general. So please share with the community here.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congratulations to you guys, and thank you for the work you put out. And I know I'm one of many women who love the podcast and love the community that you've created. So thank you. And congratulations on 3 years.
Thanks.
But
thank you.
Like I said, my name's Leah. I'm from Pennsylvania. So we are definitely jealous of all the chats that are coming.
I know.
With the sunshine. I'm missing the sun. But yeah, I got married about 8 months ago in the pandemic.
Congrats. Yeah. Newlywed. You're still a newlywed until 1 year?
I guess so. I mean, I still feel like a newlywed.
I think it is. Until your 1 year anniversary, you're considered a newlywed.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know, but that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So around that time, my husband and I, we've been into real estate. He started sending me a lot of podcasts from Bigger Pockets, which you had just mentioned earlier. Yeah. And I loved them. They were great. And after about the fourth or fifth, I'm like, man, there's got to be a podcast with women that are talking about this kind of thing. Like, I can't be the only one that's thinking this. So I went on, I'm searching podcasts, and of course I found yours and kind of binged it like some sort of, I don't even have Netflix, but I started binging it, and I came across a lot of themes about, I mean, honestly, habits and life, and am I doing the things now that get me to where I want to be in 5, 10, 20 years. So that is something that has really stuck with me. Am I doing something every day to help me learn, grow, and get me where I want to be long-term? And that is something that I really appreciate from your podcast for inspiring me in that way. I wrote down the Patricia Red Hawk episode. I don't know if you guys remember that one specifically, but that was inspiring to me. And that was a turning moment for me because I sent that one to my husband and said, all right, forget your podcast. You got to listen to this one now. So he loved it, but that was very influential for me in the sense of careers shifts. My long-term goal is to make that shift. And I'm super excited about it, but that it gives you the conversation pieces to have when you're hearing someone that's gone through that. So that was a key podcast for me, as many others, but
I love what you're saying, Leah, because one thing that Liz and I always talked about is just like, okay, people can get information about real estate, in a heartbeat. They can get it. But we want to also talk about business, the mindset, self-care. Because honestly, that's how we operate, right? We don't want to sacrifice things in order to keep learning more and more about real estate. So you really embrace it, because that's our mantra. Like, what am I doing today? One thing that I'm doing today that's going to propel me to get to the next level. And we're excited to be on this journey with you, right? It's a journey, and we all need to, embrace that, the ups and downs of this beautiful roller coaster.
Yeah. And we really try to, share ourselves and share what's coming up for us, along with obviously getting into all these other wonderful women's stories. And, so there's a mix. That's why we have the mix of, for those who have not listened to our podcast, with a mix of mini-sodes, which is like a 10-minute quick, shot of espresso or shot of whatever you want. Yeah. No judgment over here. And also like our longer episodes. So, and we're always open to questions and ideas. So if you really, please send them to us. We're very accessible. We love hearing from our community who, hey, you really should do a podcast episode about this or that. Really appreciate that.
By the way, this Friday, you guys gonna get a special episode that we never had before.
Yeah, two. We're excited. We're actually on. We can tell them what we're doing. So we're doing like a little double feature release. So we're going to release 2 episodes. And Andresa interviews me, and I interview Andresa. So we thought that'd be kind of a neat celebratory. And we both share things on those episodes that we probably have never shared before. Yeah. So they're neat. They're very therapeutic.
Yes,
to say the least. But
to say the least.
But that's awesome, Leah. So what is your next step for yourself as you navigate your kind of like trajectory of your goals? Like what's the next thing for you in terms of your path?
Yeah. So right now we have a property under contract.
Great.
Yeah. The past few months have been learning how to navigate things with my husband and kind of own our own strengths. And he is super great at things that I am terrible at, and vice versa. So
nice.
It's nice to have a teammate that's good at things that you aren't, and vice versa. But we have that under contract, and we are searching for deals and properties. So I'm in PA if anybody's got ideas, which you both are too. But
yeah, and Leah, I have to come when I go up to Lancaster. I haven't been up there in a while, but when we go up there, because we do have a building up there, I'll have to like hook up with you somehow, make sure. And we have a Lancaster meetup as well.
Yeah, I would love to get connected with that.
Yeah, it's and for those who don't know, who are watching, all of our meetups are on meetup.com. Actually, they're all on our website, and then it goes. That's actually probably the best place to go, the realestateInvestHER.com. But we have one in Lancaster. The place that they were meeting prior to the pandemic was an amazing place. It was actually an all women's focused small business center, which is really neat.
Awesome.
It was right downtown. I don't recall which street it was, but I know that it's virtual now, but really neat location. But thank you for coming on. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing yourself today with our community. Yes. And as you navigate all the twists and turns, Well, first off, investing with your spouse is very cool. I've done it. You know, my husband and I started investing when we were dating, and
wow, awesome.
You know, so you know, and it's traveled, right? We have just celebrated our 15-year anniversary. So there's been ups, there's been downs. You know, I can't tell you it's all been roses and sunshine, because it hasn't. But stay the course. You know, and make sure you keep just being super aligned, if I can tell you one thing, with what you value.
Yeah.
You know, how you're going to do it is going to be different, because, you know, but what you like, that's something that's always been the thread that's helped me and my husband, is we value the same things.
That's good.
Know?
Yeah.
So
good advice.
But please, you know, put a note on our community as you navigate your first deal, and you're doing it together, and you're still newlyweds. Like, it's a lot, but it's exciting, you know?
Yep.
So, but thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you listening. Thank you for volunteering to be on our live with us.
Yes, for sure. Happy 3 years.
Thank you, Leah.
All right. We'll see you in the community.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right. No, she's awesome. Love her. Love her. Erica, thank you so much, Erica, for the sweet message. Woohoo! Thank you, ladies. Love what you do for all the time, empowering us, making sure we see ourselves how we should as amazing, empowered investors, making it happen. Oh, that's very sweet.
Erica.
Thank you, Erica, for saying that. That's very cool. All right, awesome. Very cool. So,
do we have more gifts to give away?
We do have more gifts. So, the first lady here who can tell us what number episode we are up to will get, where is it? A copy of The Only Woman in the Room. Not for resale. I know. It's like the not for resale one. I have like the old school one. I have like the one that we got when we first read it to make sure there was no errors. Yeah. But anyway, you will get a copy of this book, this amazing, amazing book. If you haven't gotten it, you got to get it. But you'll get a copy of it. If you could tell us in the comment box how many episodes we're up to. So first person, that's pretty easy to get, everyone. So if you just go, Rita, 159. You are correct.
Rita was like, I'm not gonna miss the second time.
I love it. You're on it. You're on it, Rita. You totally just won a book. I don't know if you have it already, but you are getting another copy.
I need to confess. One time, I don't know what was it that I started putting my name on the comments because I really wanted to get the gift.
You mean for our Facebook Live, you participated? Are you serious? That's interesting.
But while you were talking, I was answering the question. But I lost it. I didn't get it. But I think he. Then you were like, Andresa, is this you? Because this sounds like you. I was like, yeah. Excuse me. I really want it.
That's pretty funny. Now you're telling me all your secrets, all your dark secrets, Andresa. So what else you got? I'm sure you got other ones. I'll find out as we continue to work together.
Give me a glass of wine.
Oh, thank you, Colleen. I had and loved the book. Every contributor story was amazing. Very cool. Yes, we were very, very proud of that. More to come on that front. So stay tuned, but very, very proud of that. So without further ado, we're going to bring on another amazing guest.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, I love the word amazing. I always use the word amazing. It's one of my favorite adjectives. Andresa and Ashley made fun of me during one of our retreats. So like, Liz, you say amazing all of the time. You need to find another adjective. But I don't care because I love amazing and I'm going to continue to use it. So there. But anyway, I'm going to bring Sonia on here. Hey, Sonia.
Hey.
How are you, girls?
What is happening?
Well, life is great, right? 3 years later.
Here we are.
Miss Sonia is a meetup leader, one of our meetup leaders, probably about a year or so. You right? About a year. If I have a good idea of history. She runs the group over in Omaha, Nebraska.
Woo!
I know.
Yes.
And you've been investing, and I forget what episode, but we interviewed Sonia for our podcast, and the episode number is escaping my mind right now, but it's a great episode.
111. I won't forget.
111. And actually, Lauren, if you're watching, everyone give it some love to Lauren Clugston. She helps us a ton with our editing, and Andresa and I were, for 100 episodes, Andresa and I were literally editing and doing everything on our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing all the show notes. Andresa was doing all the editing. because that you don't want me doing that. Andres is definitely more technical than I am, and I was doing the copywriting. And we're like, maybe we should get some help. That might be a good idea. So anyway, why was I saying this about Lauren? I had a thought. So we researched some of the most downloaded episodes, and you know whose episode was one of the most highly downloaded episodes? Yours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
Yes, out of 159 episodes, yours was like I think in the top 5. So
That is
so congrats.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is
So we wanted
amazing.
to bring you on because your story is amazing and you are amazing. But what we
Thank
wanted to also focus on was Andresa, you were talking about how
Wait a minute. I think I can hear Sonia. Do you have a? I can hear what's
myself.
called an echo. Is it?
No.
No. No.
It stopped.
It stopped. All right.
Maybe
Okay.
it was me. I don't know.
No,
I still hear it a little bit.
Do
but
you
that's okay.
hear? Okay.
So Sonia, for you, as you've navigated being an investor leader, meetup leader, and you navigated your own investments, how have you been able to what's been most helpful for you? As the more you get involved, the more you help other people. How have you gotten help and grew your investments and doing what you're doing? And what do you focus on? If you want to introduce yourself for the ladies and what you focus on.
Absolutely. So when we talked a year ago in January, would have been when I launched, and then shortly after COVID hit, I had 2 amazing meetups where I had more than 45 ladies show up. And it was so rewarding because I knew there was a need for a group, for somebody where female investors could go to and obtain the information, the support, the assistance. So without you guys putting it out there, there would have never been an opportunity for me now, not only to run this, I look at these ladies as my personal friends. Okay. We are on the phone, texting, we call each other, helping, supporting each other, figuring out how we're going to do things better. So starting this group from your perspective, and I've always said this, that one of the neatest things that I felt is this is not just national, international. And to me, having 2 younger daughters, it's so inspiring that we're creating a community of females that want to be involved in real estate. You don't have to do it full time. You could do it part time. You can do it in leisure. You can do it however you want in your own terms, right? In your own terms.
Mm-hmm.
But the common ground is there, and we're here to support and help each other. So my real estate investor group has grown. I've known more people in the area than I ever imagined, and the impact that we're making for younger generations to come, that, hey, there is a place for us. And by the way, if you're a mom, you can still do this. If you're divorced, you can still do this. And if you're married, great, you can still do this. Anybody can do it. So that is the amazing thing that you 2 have done for all of us, is creating a place for all of us to continue our efforts and continue to grow. When I met you guys a year ago, I was very involved more on flips. I have pivoted, and I've mentioned it in the podcast where I was interviewed. I was looking to do more buy and hold, and that continues. That hasn't stopped. Andresa has actually been my mentor and has been helping me. So she knows I'm involved now in 2 startups. So 2021 for me is leveling up, personal, professional, as a mom in all the ways that I can, but most importantly, leveling up so that I can help the rest of my group and being able to provide them more resources, more help, just as you 2 have done.
I love everything. I know you in a different way, so I know a lot. Well, I wanted to share one thing that it really struck me in a different way when you went to the bank, and then you said, "Listen, I am a investor meetup leader." Tell everybody that story. I always like
it's true. It's true. So with a startup, we had to start presenting with banks. And I couldn't believe that I'd taken it for granted, you can say. But I've mentioned that I'm an influencer in the area, that I represent a InvestHER group, female investors. And the reaction, by the way, I had another presentation today to another bank, was like, wow, really? Like, yeah, we exist, people. It does make a difference. People are happy to hear that there's that type of support out there. But more importantly, when I start telling them, yeah, these two ladies started in Philadelphia. Oh, by the way, and one of them's from Brazil.
Oh, there we go.
Because I want them to know that this is not just here in the US. I mean, you guys have members in Canada now. It's growing. And to me, that is such an amazing thing. But I take it out to the banks. I put it on my resume. And guess what, people? They notice. So make sure you all start using it.
That is so cool. I'm totally hearing feedback, but we're going to just keep rolling with it. And you just hear me twice.
Are you on your phone as well, Sonia? No.
No,
I'm not either.
I don't get it. Why?
I don't either. But I'm like, whoo. That's awesome. And I love that you keep taking action. And I think the message too for our podcast, for our meetups, for our community, for our membership, our summit, literally our book, everything that we're doing, and then we're going to be doing. We have a lot of neat stuff in store for everyone. So stay tuned on some of the other things we're going to be providing everyone. But the key is that we're always learning and we're always giving and we're always getting, and it's a circle, right? And Andresa and I, when we created this and we talked about it, we didn't want it ever to be like the Liz and Andresa show. Like, Liz, like, not that I'm being funny, but it's seriously, we didn't want it to be like we were like at the front and everyone was like here. We really always envision a circle. Literally from the first day, in the first moment her and I talked about creating this and everything, we always said we wanted to be part of the circle. We didn't want to be like in like the center of the circle or the top of the circle. We literally wanted to be in the circle with everyone. And that's how we always envisioned this. So, and that's how it should be, in my opinion, because we are all learning and giving and growing. No one has it all figured out. I don't care who they are. I very farly know. Some days I'm like, I don't know if I have anything figured out. Some days you have those days, and we try to be as transparent and as real as possible, because you know what? People appreciate that, because there's a realness. I'm learning. I'm growing. I screw up a lot. So on
a daily basis, I would lie if I sit here. On a daily basis, I learn. But I will say that in this group, the amount of support and willingness to help each other. I've had people reach out from other states. I have personally reached out to other people that are representing other locations, and everybody's so willing to help. Why? Because we don't all have it figured out. I've been investing for 20 years. I did it as by the way, I think it was a hobby until 5 years ago that I took it serious. And the amount of growth, the amount of impact that we're making. My 15-year-old daughter, Frida, which I'm sure she's watching somewhere, she comes to my meetup. My best friend's daughter, who's 17, she's attending. And I want to see more younger generations, because they have the time and their brains are so young that they can just be sponges and take all these information. So tomorrow when they decide to do this, they have the know-how, they have the information. And if they don't have it, they know where to go and get it, which is just as important.
And that's in essence like the role models, right? And seeing people come before you that are doing it. I love it. I love it. You're telling people at the bank, you're like, hey, I'm this investor leader. I love it. I love that.
It's been great, ladies. And I can't thank you enough. I've always said I listened to a podcast, Bigger Pockets, and it was Andresa. And Andresa, I love your accent, because I have one, believe it or not. There's certain words where I give it out. And I'm listening and I'm like, okay, she's from Brazil and she's got this heavy accent and she has figured out how to manage general contractors. Like, I need to know more about her. And that's how it all got started. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for helping, because I will say this. There are times where I just send an email or have a question and you both always respond despite of your busy schedule. So I thank you, and let's continue to grow this internationally. I don't want to just see it here. Let's see it everywhere. And most importantly, to continue to empower our younger generations, continue to empower each other, because that's the way we're going to grow. If we want to sit at the table, we'll do it jointly. We're not going to do it by ourselves.
Sorry,
thank you.
Well, thank you for being such an instrumental part, and thank you for sharing your story and sharing it with, your local meetup and all the women across the country. So appreciate you being on tonight.
Thank you, ladies.
All right. See you soon. Thank you. All right. Very cool. Very cool.
That's awesome.
Love it. Love it.
I love it. I can't wait to do like a retreat.
Yes.
So we can all go somewhere.
And stay tuned, because we are doing a virtual summit. Mark your calendars, June 12th. Lots to come on that. But we really intend to, hopefully 2022, right? To have a in-person, like amazing InvestHER conference, right?
Experience. I want an
experience, not a conference.
Yeah.
That's way too boring. It'll be a conference. An experience. Absolutely. So in closing, Andresa, what is one thing that you want to leave the community with tonight? One word of advice that you learned?
Sure. Well, I don't. It's one thing that is started, and I always say, no matter if you're getting started, if you are, in the middle of it or retiring, I don't care. You're 100% responsible for what happens to you at the end of the day. If the project goes well, kudos to you. If it doesn't go well, it's on you too, right? Because if we keep putting on other people, right? Oh, but he screwed me over, or but, then the power is on them, not on you, right? And we want to, what I take responsibility here and what I will do different. There's a distinction between fault and responsibility. I'm saying responsibility, right? I take responsibility for not hiring the right people. So I'm going to work on hiring the right people. How can I get those skills? I think that that's the mentality that I stand by. We stand by as a company. Every time that we face something, we stand by, and that has helped a lot.
Yeah, I love that.
About you, what do you got?
I think something I want to share with our community tonight too is, I think we need to stop playing small as women, as investors, and what I mean by that is, share. Everyone watching this, everyone in our community has something to share with people. They have something that, whether your form of that is writing, whether you're more of a video person, but there's something that you could be sharing with other people. Mm-hmm. And I think if we held ourselves back 3 years ago and said, hold on, and you listen to our earlier episodes, like I literally just ramble for like an hour. Like it's so painful for me to listen to those episodes.
I don't listen to it.
Because I'm like, oh my God, Liz, get to the effing point. Like, I'm seriously, I'm like, it's painful for me to listen myself. So, and I say that because, right, we have to be kind to ourselves, but by putting yourself out there, you're helping other people. And I think there's women watching this right now and listening to this, and in our community that are hiding out, and you got to stop hiding out. You have an amazingness that you need to share with the world in your own way, what works for you. But think about that for yourself, where you could be helping other people, where you could be shining a light to somewhere for some reason that could be really serving other people and really bringing out your greatness.
Yeah. Anything. Right?
I just want to
your action, right?
Exactly.
What can I do? Nothing. What is your goal?
So I give that charge to you ladies, because you have some amazingness to you. We all do, and we just need to shine that light and share it with other people. And that's going to help other women share it with other people, and it's just going to continue like a ripple effect. So, mostly importantly, it's just thank you so much for being in our community, for listening to our podcast. for supporting this, for everything we're doing. And we really appreciate it, because we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing if no one really listened to it or cared or anything. So I know we're just really appreciative and very grateful. So
yeah. And I love when you guys say like, I am an InvestHER, or let me tell you about my community, because it is your community. I like the ownership. It's not, as Liz says, it's not Andresa or Liz show or community, right? We stand side by side with all of you, and that's how it will always be, no matter what happens, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that you have a place, right, that nobody can fulfill but you, and the way that you are, nothing more, nothing less, the way that you are.
Exactly the way you are. So stay tuned. Friday, we really released, they're going to be 2 really special episodes. We really shared our
might
souls.
Be tears. There might be some laughs.
Yeah, there might be some laughs and everything in between, but we try to continually share as authentic and as transparent as we can. So if you do have ideas for our podcast, please shoot them to us. Please let us know. We're all ears. And if you have not left us a rating, we definitely encourage you to go over to iTunes. We just appreciate that, because it helps get the word out more. Rate, review, and leave a rating or review, etc. on our podcast. So we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for being on this. Thank you for celebrating with us. And where do you need to celebrate something in your own life? Celebrate, because you got to stop and smell the roses sometimes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies.
All right, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for being here.